Hello, everybody. Welcome. There's a investigator. Hell, huh. Everybody, welcome. Those are like investigator. So, guys, it's funny. I basically put on the makeup on camera, but so I looked. This microphone has this very delicate button, the mute button, and it turns the light into red. And I was like, oh, it's red. And then I realized it was red for a while. So I recorded out of 22 minutes, 3 minutes or had audio and the rest. And so I am starting over, okay, because it doesn't work. Okay, so that was a lesson. So next time I'll do the tutorial. I do a tutorial. It was a nice tutorial, to be honest, but without audio, it doesn't work. So let me do the protection again. So I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of lights coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that create the good, and I'm the good, and so it is. So it's funny. It was fun. It was fun. I'm gonna do it next time. Okay, to show you my tricks. I have tricks here. And it was fun. It was fun. I know I've been very relaxed. It's late now. It was a little earlier when it started, but it's okay, guys. I'm home. It's good, and I feel like I like to do these very late videos because I'm relaxed. I did what I had to do, so it's kind of a reward for me to do the video. Okay, so basically, it was interesting. I was like, I was so enjoying the conversation. Too bad you didn't get to watch it, but let's get right into it. So I was talking about the news that came out a few hours ago about Trump and incredible amounts of corruption, which is not shocking to us, but it's basically he extorted this company named NVIDIA. So if you're familiar with NVIDIA is, I would say, the only profitable AI company. I am an AI bubble skeptic. Just so you know, there is an AI bubble happening in the public stock market. So a lot of companies that talk about AI will be there. There's going to be a lot of speculation related to that. The stocks are up because of that conversation, not because of any products. Because when you look at the products themselves, they don't make money, and the cost of computing is extremely high for AI to the point where nobody can make money other than NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a company that makes the chips that enable these programs to run because obviously the computing costs are insane and it's just very, 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 very expensive. Okay. And so, essentially, there's a bubble, and there's a kind of like people are being lied to, both about the depth of development. Oh, AI, AGI, they call it artificial general intelligence, some sort of like a bullshit term to convince people that no, we're close, AI is here. And in a way, AI is being used for horrible things like like a face recognition in a way that's AI. There's a lot of different changing the ballots, right? Things like that, but not the depth of their claims. Okay, but anyway, so NVIDIA, like I said, is this company that makes a lot of money now because they have been making for decades chips, and those chips were popular with people who play a lot of video games because these graphic cards enable processing to go faster. Okay, so people would buy these chips to play video games and see, anyway, improve the processing power. Okay, complex data and visuals. Okay, so anyway, so let's call it here. Let me actually, hold on a second. I was talking. Okay, here I'm going to share this with you. All right, so let me go. So this story, remember I was talking about Intel the other day. Intel and how Trump was going after the CEO. And after this, so this came out a few hours ago on the newspaper that I subscribe to. It was very, very, very trustworthy, the Financial Times. And so this is interesting because the Intel CEO is supposed to meet Trump tomorrow, but this came out not from the Trump administration, which means that this was all done on the down low. Okay, so let me just talk about this because I already started asked. I can tell you the answer that I got about this part. So NVIDIA, AMD is another company that sells chips. Okay, so Biden had, I think, put a lot of controls on the export of chips precisely to prevent China from gaining an edge. And since these are very important for the development of all advanced AI applications, by selling those chips to them, they get an edge in a way, right? And to be fair, I'm not against China or anything, but I just feel like a lot of people close to Trump, and especially people close to Peter Thiel, say that they hate China. They do everything to slam China. But here they are. When money comes, they have no qualms. They never criticize Trump, right? So it's just really kind of interesting, this whole situation. Okay, and then this brings up the Intel question, but I have to tell you what I saw. So I looked, and it's too bad, guys, that I was muted. The questions were, what was the deal? Okay, so I saw this. The deal was that the deal is like officially 15% of revenue, which is an enormous amount of money. So imagine a business that 15% of everything you make goes to them. Before, this is beyond taxes, right? So it's ridiculous. And I saw this that they actually have had to sign something. And then I see Trump, not directly, but here's the account. It's has to be paid in cryptocurrency. And so it shows me that the account that they will be given is not even based in the US because it's all going to Trump and Trump's family. And then I also saw that the people that are going to be involved in setting this up are the children of Howard Lutnick. Now, Howard Lutnick, as you know, is the man who I think is the Secretary of Commerce, and he is very close to crypto and the bond market. And he is so corrupt. Oh my God. So when he came to the government, his children became the CEOs. Let me actually. They became the CEOs of his company. Okay, here it is. Okay. And they have some sort of thing with where they have a company. I know that they're working with in crypto for Trump. So what I saw is that they are the ones that are actually managing the money transfer into Trump. Let me show you. Okay, so, and this is, okay, here it is. So this is like let's see, it's sort of like a random news. This article, Howard Lutnick is job Cantor Fitzgerald jobs to his sons Brandon and Kyle. This is an old picture, actually, September. So that's 20 years. How was it? 20 years ago or something. But okay, so this is them. And here's the article, NVIDIA and NVIDIA to pay 50% of China's chip sale revenues to US government. Okay. Now, so what I see is this whole thing of like is this that it's completely illegal, it's under the table, it's not coming to the US court first. But then I asked them the question, will they receive, okay, will they actually pay and will actually receive the money? Okay, so the thing is, it takes quite a while to produce these things. It's not like buying a lip liner or something. It takes a long time to produce complex to make these. So there's a contracts that's signed and it takes a while for them to produce. So it's not immediate. They can deliver these chips. Okay. And so what I saw when I looked was that no, that they will not actually pay because I see them, Trump going down and they receive a phone call from some government official saying, don't worry, you don't have to pay for this. And then I see them ripping the contract apart and like feeling, oh, relief because that was a shakedown. That was extremely corrupt. And guys, I forgot how much. It's like they made billions of dollars, these companies. And they deserve to make these because it's very expensive to make, long story, right? It's so in very, very high demand. These chips, these companies desperately need these chips. And anyway, the point is, like, this is how much money he was going to get, billions probably, or hundreds of millions minimum. And what would these companies do, right? This is a communist thing, because if you care about the share, it's not capitalism. Capitalism cares about the shareholder. They are like they would have robbed these companies. So I see that it will not come to pass. And I also see Howard Lutnick going to prison, his children, everybody involved in this financial corruption scheme going down very, very seriously. So, okay. So that's kind of interesting, though. All right. So, yeah, information. So this is it. So it gives me hope, and I see, wow, I see Kamala meeting them and apologizing that the government had to come, that there was this horrible man. They don't have any, and saying, don't have to worry about it. You didn't do anything. I feel like you didn't do anything wrong in the sense that I don't think they had a choice. He was going to do something terrible to these people. Okay. Oh, and then the next question. So, given what we know now, did Trump tell CEO because he refused to be bribed? So, okay, did Trump attack the Intel CEO because he refused? Yes, saying yes. And also because, and I feel like I'm repeating myself because I said it in the other recording. I said Trump, yeah, because Trump was like, oh, he mentioned even that Biden had given the company billions of dollars to support manufacturing for job, all kinds of things. And Trump was like, listen, you already have all this money, why don't you give it to him? Right? Basically, he needs a cut, right? It's just a mob thing. So the answer is yes. Okay. So wow. But I don't think I shared with you guys because like I said, I shared it before, but let me just read you a few things here just so you understand how bad. Okay. So NVIDIA and AMD to pay 15% of China chip sale revenues to US government, quote unquote. The two chip makers agreed to the financial arrangement as a condition for obtaining export licenses for the Chinese markets that were granted last week, according to people familiar with the situation, including a US official. Now, just let's remember that it's not like they had a choice, right? Essentially, it's extortion. Why? Because if they said no, they would not have had, right? We know that, right? If they said no, I don't agree to it, then there would be no export licenses. So it's a crime. It was extortion. Okay. Oh, the US official said NVIDIA agreed to share 15% of the revenues from H2O chip sales in China, and AMD will provide the same percentage from MI308 chip revenues. Two people with the arrangement said the Trump administration had not yet determined how to use the money. Okay, really, of course, they had not, right? So I think I see that the article caught them by surprise, the administration, right? Because no, oh, Oh yeah, no, 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 because it was going to their pockets, obviously. So, so this is the situation. Bad handles, bad handles. So, all right, let me pause here. So, also, I shared this on the other video that doesn't have volume. That even as I report this egregious situation, I really do get this feeling that he will not win, and that somehow this corruption had to be exposed so that we know. I mean, we know that, but America has a mirror to look at itself, right? We allow this to happen, and there's hundreds and thousands of people behind us letting this happen, even if they may not have known that he was as bad as he is. Still, they were okay with this somehow, right? So, so that's the situation. Okay. All right. So this is it. Also, I want to make an explanation. Okay. Okay. Somebody to explain that I delete comments that say this. Like, I find it really upsetting, honestly, when people say, "Oh, but the meeting that they have is a body double." And it's, guys, I've said it before. I've read so many books about Russia and Putin, and the idea, and it's very. I find it sad that people. I mean, there's random people on YouTube that have bigger followings than I have, and come up with all kinds of egregious BS, which is what I think it is. And if you don't speak Russian, you're not, and you haven't read anything about Russian history or Putin, it's just ridiculous. It's insulting also to Ukrainians who are dying. Okay, and the idea that it's like there was somebody who left a message saying, "Oh, Medvedev is in charge." Medvedev has never been in charge. If you understand, look at the history. I just people are so willing to accept this sort of magical thinking BS instead of reading history, understanding how Putin played Medvedev from the beginning. Okay, you don't know that, but that's your job to look up and to learn instead of falling for this like easy crap. Okay, so anybody who says, "Oh, it's the body double, it's not real, he's dead, he's alive, he's whatever," I delete it all. It's this is not the channel for this. I know there's randos out there, like again, even popular channels who buy by that. That's not me. So if you want to discuss that, go to their channels, not me. Okay, because I spend a lot of time, as you know, doing research. Okay, and I don't want to like vulgarize the channel by turning this into some sort of like BS container. Okay, so everybody, people are free to think whatever they want, but in my channel, I don't accept these types of comments because it becomes essentially disinformation. To think that, oh no, he's not there, it's just a AI, whatever it is that people, whatever excuse they use. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's not here. Okay, I don't spend all my time learning so that I can put up with this sort of thing. I don't put up with it. So that's just the explanation. Okay, so just to explain that, like just yesterday, all these comments, and it's like, oh, it's not real. It's like I don't care who said it, where you saw it. It's just not on this channel. Okay, so I want to make this announcement so that it's clear. Okay, so feel free to discuss that in some other channel. That's fine with that. Not here. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next subject. So this is kind of strange and fascinating in a way. It's not fascinating is not the right word, but this woman, and it's so, guys, the first thing I noticed about her is that she doesn't, I'm sorry to say, but she doesn't look white to me. It's so weird how a lot of these people that are like white supremacists are not white. Like, I'm sorry, she does not look white to me. She looks, I think she looks more Latina than I do, to be honest. I know she's Jewish or supposed, I don't know where, but she does not look, for somebody who's very like who embraces all of that ideology. She doesn't not look very Aryan to me, to be honest with you. But it's so empty, right? And she's a terrible. She does not. It's interesting. She does not. She's not charismatic. Okay, let's just. I want to share this with you. Let's look. Let's look here. Interesting information. Interesting information. Okay. Mm. Mm. Relevant became okay. So strange. Okay, let's watch. Let's see. Oh, look at her.
Hi, I'm Katie Miller. Welcome to my podcast and welcome to my living room. You may
Oh,
be wondering what I'm doing here hosting a podcast. It seems these days just about everyone has a podcast. For years, I've watched from the sidelines as people I know, people I respect, have hosted TV shows, radio shows, podcasts, you name it.
okay. The first thing that that I get from her is that she's like, "Where's my money? I want to make money." Because I get immediately that she wears the pants in the relationships, and that she's very much. We know that about her, right? Everything she does, she loves power. So I see that immediately. It's like, again, I see that she's been hanging out with Elon Musk, and it's like, Katie, you could go to X, and I'll pay you, and I'll do this and that. I don't know if it's gonna be, but this is on X, happens to be on X, but it's like it's kind of I immediately pick up on this energy of hers. Okay.
And I thought, hey, I could do that too. And
And I immediately also, it's so interesting. I had never seen her speak. And I get this very overwhelming thuggish energy about her, like truculent and violent. Okay.
why? Because for years I've seen that there isn't a place for conservative women to gather online. There isn't a place for a mom like me, mom of 3 young kids, 4, 3, and almost 2, and a wife, and trying to do a career, eat healthy, work out. There isn't a place for a mom like me. And so I wanted to create that space where
Yeah, there isn't really. I don't know what
we
you
have
mean by.
real, honest conversations with people across the political spectrum and across the world to get lifestyle information, news, laugh with our friends,
And
gossip.
it just honestly, she doesn't. I'm sorry. This is the thing. If it's wise, it's like, oh, would I troll her? Like, girl, are you sure you're white? I'm seriously like, okay, is she really like, come on, you're not white, okay? You're not. You're not. I'm sorry. Like, is she? No, you're not. Are you Aryan? No. Those people over there, second world war have problem with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, girl, who do you think you're kidding? And it's so funny. I feel like she wants, and I see that she wants to be some sort of like personality. Like, what's her name? Oh my God, Jackie Kennedy is laughing here in the background. She wants to be a personality like, what's that skinny blonde woman? And Coulter. But in Coulter, there's something. She's a lawyer. I'm not saying that the end it's all trash that comes out of her mouth anyway, but there's something I would say almost endearing about her. But this woman, I see that she's just very unlikable. And then she has this like, yeah, because there's no podcast for a woman like me. So I need to get. Oh my God, I should get. Oh my God, no character. There's no podcast for a woman like me. Conservative. I have 3 kids, 4, 2, and 4, 3, and almost 2. And a woman who's trying to have a career, a woman who tries to eat healthy. So everybody and their mother has a podcast. Here I am. So so it's just I get this like the energy of like in my crystals, the energy around these people is just very dark. My neighbor's gonna hate me. I drop something. The top of my powder thing. It's really remarkable, to be honest. Very interesting, actually. That I just pick up her energy very heavy. And this, like, under the surface, the anger. And I see that she feels like, again, I really pick up that she wants power and she has worked towards power. That's why she gravitated towards Elon Musk. And now she wants money. And I see that she's angry. A lot of those women. I think it was, what was it? It was that lady. Is that Christine Nome or the other one? The one from South Carolina. What's her name? The one is like, yes, that's a picture of me naked. Yeah. Uh-huh. Because I am what's that? The future is going, women are going to be presidents, conservative women. And I feel like there's almost like a conflict here where they want to be, they want power like the men, but when they realize they can't have it because it's not for them, right? That's their whole ideology. They need a way out. They need to find. So she's very ambitious, and I see there's something really thuggish about her. And I don't say this about many people, and I kind of almost I don't believe that people kind of come back. Some people say, "Oh, is is such and such a reincarnation of another famous figure?" But I get something like she was some sort of prison guard, in the other in another life or something, of this concentration camp, or there's something, or she could have been a prisoner. But there is just something about about her. It's just very dark, and it's not going to end well for her. But it's just I just wanted to share. So, Spirit, tell me about this woman and what's going on with her. Let me actually share 1 second. Let me just because it's kind of interesting here. What is it? Okay, let's see a close up. I can find one. That's right. And she's angry. And I feel like, wow, I see interesting. You know what? I see her in the future being like a mugshot of her like abusing her kids, like violence. I think there's something about her that feels very, very violent to me. And I said this before, that this is true for, I think, a lot of people that are criminal and abusers, right? That they abuse people as a means to transfer the shame and the hard feelings they feel about themselves onto others. So the moment they abuse others, they scapegoat others, there's a release for them. They feel like they don't no longer have to deal with the darkness. And what I'm picking up here about her is that she may do that to her own children. However, right now, like she will do it. If she's not already doing it, she may do it in the future. And that I see that she's not going to like it when Stephen goes to prison. And I see her as the vibrations change and the world is shifting energetically. She's struggling because this the abuse pattern, right, where you can scapegoat people indirectly, like immigrants, or even abuse people close to you and find that release, right? It's getting harder for them to do that. And I think that is because of this vibrational shift. Okay. All right. So now I get the now Jackie Kennedy has an opinion. Where is he? Okay. She's as ugly on the outside as she's on the inside, Rosie. It's really a terrible thing to observe, isn't it? Well, I'm seeing this image through Jackie Kennedy. Obviously, I have no way of knowing if this happened this way, but I see Jackie shows me her on the day that they were paving the rose garden, coming with her shoes and stepping on the roses. There she was, Rosie, stepping on the beautiful roses. But she's only stepping on herself. And the end of the day, that's how energy works. That is how karma works for her. She's only bringing hardship and ugliness for her to herself. She really hates herself, Rosie. That is why she's inelegant on the outside as she is on the inside. She's a very unhappy person, but she will not destroy the America that we have planted together. The flowers will grow again. All we have to do is to remove that cement, that ugly cement, Rosie. It will not last. America will outlast them. America will outlast these clowns, Rosie. It surely will. So, Lucy, thank you, Jackie. I just wanted to say thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Rosie. Anytime. Rosie, one day you might visit the Rose Garden. Who knows? Who knows? That's nice. Thanks for telling me, Jackie. That's nice, really. Okay. So, well, I just think, wow. So, that was interesting, really. Okay. So, next, I'm going to go to a very interesting comment. I think about Eisenhower. See, it's coming back. It's coming back here. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna share some interesting comments. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. So let's find. All right, I'll be right back, okay? I'm gonna go get it. I'll be right back. So guys, okay, I'm doing this. I did it again. I did not press the play. I don't think so. So let me show you just quickly in case I did. I don't think you saw this, but let me just show you. This is a comment that I was going to look for, right? So interesting Eisenhower came through when he did. Okay, I'm in front of this. He was president when Alaska became a state, so I'm guessing he has a special interest in making sure Putin doesn't. Okay, 1 second. All right, so doesn't get Alaska. Okay, all right. So that's the reference because I had paused and I was reading. So I was saying that I see President Eisenhower leaning against the desk, and he's saying, "Rosie," I was talking and everything. "Rosie, you understand. I was very happy. It was a wonderful time in my life because it felt like we had definitely won a war, and I was so damn proud of us. I was so damn proud of this country. We had that piece of land, and it meant so much. I love the mountains. I love the cold. I don't love winter too much, but I just love that fresh air. Fresh air. I went over there. Oh yeah, I stayed at a lodge over there. It was very nice. It was very nice. He didn't have a southern accent, but he was just like very like high strung kind of person. So Mr. Eisenhower, do you think? Oh, and it's telling me here, not him. And this is because again, I know I keep, sometimes I'm very annoying about the whole history thing, but reminding me that Putin, if you study him, he's like, oh, I think pretty much most conservatives are about the past. They want to create a past that never existed, right? They have their own version of the past. And so his take on Alaska is all about undoing all the gains that America had. So that's one of them. And I see that no. He's losing, and he's saying he's losing power and he's losing territory in the end because the world will no longer, I don't think will no longer accept their BS. I feel like really Russia, I think they got a lot for cheap, if you have to admit that having their asset in power here, in the end, it didn't give them a whole lot, right? It didn't really improve Putin's situation necessarily a whole lot or give them a whole lot, but they infiltrated the country. And I see the face of Kamala being like, under my presidency, we're not going to have all these assets around. We're going to make sure that they're taken care of and that she's tough. She's tough and she handles them the way that they need to be handled. So, that was interesting information. So I'm looking for this other comment. There was a great comment, and honestly, I did not know this that it was a okay. It's okay. There's a quote by Eisenhower. Okay, and Social Security. So, oh, let me right here. Okay, so all right, so let's see here. Should any political, one of President Eisenhower's best quotes, Google his stance on the Social Security. Should any political party attempt to abolish Social Security, unemployment insurance, and eliminate labor laws and farm programs, you would not hear of that party again in our political history. There is a tiny splinter group, of course, that believes you can do these things. Among them are a few other Texas oil millionaires and an occasional politician or businessman from other areas. Their number is negligible and they are stupid. Dwight Eisenhower. So, how refreshing, right? So, my question is, Mr. And he's like this face palm. I guess I was wrong. There's a whole lot more than that. But, and I see that he shows me like these like little hands climb with the walls over time. And he didn't realize how it would grow over time. And it's all the television propaganda, social media thing you have now, lying to people because they're using bigotry to steal people's rights, right? It's like, oh, don't worry, look at that immigrant over there, look at that. Oops, and then they take their money. Why they do that? That's what they're doing. But so I have a question, Mr. President Eisenhower. Are they going to steal Social Security? Because Trump now is ordering 401ks to be investing in all the pump and dump crypto, saying no, it will, it's saying there, no, it's saying it's an order, but it's saying it's still, there will be time to remove that, to stop that from happening. Okay. And it will not go far enough. Like it will, they will not have enough time. Okay. So are people going to lose social? No, no, I don't know. And I see, it's interesting. I see an image of Eisenhower and I see all of these people behind him, all these other presidents from the beginning of the US. And they're like, have their hands like this. No, 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 no. So, and it's saying it's there because really the question ends up being, as usual, I think I have this question all the time. Why did it come to this? How could we possibly get to this point? It's sort of a rhetorical question, but they say it had to come to this point so that it will boomerang the other way. Does it make sense? In a way, they're living their fantasy life now. But as it becomes exposed, people finally come to their senses and the population revolts. Right. So, all right. So that's what I see. So, wow, interesting. Wow. So anything you tell us something, Mr. Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, about this upcoming week. Chin up, Rosie. You're doing the right thing. Right thing. Don't worry. No, because I get involved in this whole like thing that I'm going after some people, you know what I'm saying? As I tell you guys, I can talk about it. One day, who knows if it ever becomes public, but and sometimes I have days and I'm like, I was very excited about others. I'm like, oh, and he says, no, you're doing the right thing because it's what you said the other day. I was watching your show. You said my mouth is sort of like it's like a tool. It's like a carving knife. That's right. People have to get used to speaking up because when they speak up, it takes the power that the words of the bad people have, right? Because that's the thing. People somehow are became conditioned into accepting this. They're just speaking, and you have the same power of speaking. So when they say, "Oh, we're going to take the Social Security," no, you're not. You go to prison. That's what's going to happen. That's how you say. You say it, and you don't have to wait for a politician or somebody or the court or this. You just say it, and that's when you say something out loud. It takes on power, and everybody has this. It doesn't matter how much you have or don't have in the background. It's not about that. It's about the power that humans have. And it's about saying the Bible says at the beginning was the word for a reason. So you have that same power as them. But they spend their whole lifetimes gaslighting people into believing that they don't have power when you do. So every day you say to yourself, you wake up, it's telling us, what do you wake up and say? Trash is in prison. This farce is over. It's gonna say out loud all the things you want to happen, not the things you see on television, because that's when you feel empowered. So saying Trash is gonna regret the day he was born. Stephen Miller is gonna spend time in the federal prison. All these they just say the things when instead of like, oh my God, but they did this. Oh, oh. No, you just speak it out, and that empowers us, and they will push our vision forward because he stole everything. This is not that he stole the job. It's Kamala's. He stole it. It's not going to be forever. He's going down. So keep saying that because it's saying we are part of it. And the way is not to pray, not to beg. It's just state it that way. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go for it now. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.